Jeremy Reynolds getting a
DIY show.
I can't believe it. Renovation.
Yep.
Renovation, Ryan.
Yeah.
Why are you just saying aye? Why are you accepting this?
That's what he does when he renovates.
There's two things America just won't help but accept. Gun violence against children and Jeremy Reynolds fucking having a career for SWAT. He's for SWAT. He was in SWAT. Speaking of fun, oh my god, John Wick 4, man. It's a masterpiece.
It's the best film I've ever seen in the cinema, I think. Just so good. It's just so fun.
It just goes, man.
It's a long film. Does not feel like it.
They're doing what, other sort of franchises are attempting, and they're introducing new characters that hopefully the audience can glove onto enough that they hope for a spin-off. John Wick 4 introduces 4 characters that I want an individual movie from.
100%. Yep. I would watch the
Tracker.
I would watch the Tracker movie.
The pacing, the editing, the stunt work, the canine acting in it is incredible.
Yep. And you can just tell the way it's made. It's a film that's made with love. Like, people who are making that film love making that film.
Everyone involved in John Wick 4, the director, the runners, catering, everyone involved made a masterpiece. Every single one of them should be so proud. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Hello, Nicky. This is episode 6. 666.
This is the 6th episode we've done.
A Jason X new metal opening that is immediately telling you this is 2000.
Oh, and doesn't it remind you that it's 2000 throughout this movie? The soundtrack in this thing is...
The CGI. Oh, it's Jason X CGI.
Oh, it's rough.
Oh, even like the little Nicky opening title is like this GeoCities early like GIF, man. Blue font with flames.
Oh, it's so cool though.
It's pixelated.
This is like WrestleMania 2000. This is like that level of production. Right, so can we get into John Lovitz?
This is
very safe to say that this is the best intro to any movie that we've covered so far. It might even be the best intro to any movie ever.
Oh my god, right.
When we covered Rat Race, I say to you that every time John Lovitz is on screen, I'm laughing. He doesn't have to be talking, just his facial expressions, his general being. When John Lovitz is on a screen, I'm laughing already.
It's the way it starts though, and again, John Lovitz is just one of those twisted things that like bonded us because you knew you could quote this scene.
Yeah.
And we both like Chris Farley as well, which we'll come to. This kicks off and it looks like it's a sort of family movie with this, it's like got this Chris Columbus vibe as the music swells and a mother goes in a house from the car with her small child.
Yeah. And then it plans to up this tree and you think we're going up for a nice wee scene, but I don't really... tree. We've got John Lovitz sitting in a 3-piece suit with a Walkman on, listening to Ladies' Night. He's got a picnic and a glass of wine.
The picnic. The picnic.
This is so good. So it starts off.
This is based off of Adam Sandler song.
Oh really? One of his, is that an SNL song?
It's one of his releases that went to CD anyway. He's in a suit.
You're laughing already. So he's in a suit. The lady's upstairs getting changed. She's had a hard day at work. He says to her,
he sort of narrates to himself.
He's narrating the whole thing. It's so funny.
Do you want to take it or will I take it?
He says she's taking her shoes off and he says, "Let me rub those feet. Of course I wouldn't be using my hands." And then he does his laugh. He goes he's got this wheezy laugh.
Sorry, but I've basically transcribed this entire scene, Ryan. I can't skip past things. At first he goes, "Ooh, showtime." And then he says "Rough day at the office, Miss Dunleavy? You'll feel better when you get out of those work clothes."
And then there's some sweats. He's so excited when he says sweats. I think Victoria just told me her secret. That's the perfect noise. And then she just goes to take off her trousers. She goes to undo a button and he goes. Is that an excited squeal?
He goes, my diddly dee, are those things for me?
He's so gleeful as well. He's so happy.
He's kind of scam's ruined because this kid walks in.
This kid walks in and cockblocks him.
He says to himself, "Oh, Scotty Dunleavy, what unfortunate timing. Get out. Don't you know this is naughty time?" He phones the house.
He then immediately phones the house and says, "Scotty, I'll be downstairs. Me and Mummy want to have some..." What's it he says?
He says, "Let your mum get comfy." Scotty says, "Who is this?" And he replies,
"It's a big bird."
This is a big bird who wants to see the rest of Mummy." And he goes, he gets caught and he pretends to be a big bird.
Right, and then Scotty hits him with a slingshot. He falls off a tree and dies. So Scotty McLeavy is a murderer.
He maybe should have. No, he was defending his mother against a big birdie man.
He hits a guy with a slingshot who's up a tree, right?
He was pulling a George McFly.
But the guy falls off a tree and immediately travels to hell, so he dies on impact.
He it's elaborate. He had a picnic. He was in a suit.
And he had a half-drank bottle of wine that was like opened to air out.
Was it red?
Aye. He'd been waiting there all day.
He let it breathe.
He had their home phone number.
Do you know the worst part about this? My eyes are wet. Legit, this is one of my favourite cameos, but I'll forget it if I don't watch this movie again in 6 months. I think that kind of summarises Little Nicky a bit for me, though.
That's a good analogy. Yeah, a funny movie when you're watching it, but then you forget how funny it is if you don't watch it.
That's the same for you.
Yep. So John Lovitz falls. CGI here isn't too bad for the time. He falls off the tree and he falls through this like hell gate, lands in hell, basically.
We get the sort of St. Peter equivalent hell.
Yeah, the gatekeeper.
It's Dennis Nealon.
Yeah, who's very funny in all these Sandler movies.
Dennis Nealon rules.
He's good in this. He says, "Are you the horny guy who's a big bird?" And John Lovitz immediately just says yes. So then a big bird comes behind him and basically just starts sexually assaulting him. He's getting chased by this big guy in a bird costume, and Ladies' Night starts playing again. And he runs away from it. He runs away from the bird saying, "I deserve this."
We get Sandler fucking slapping. What is it? The Reaper's staff or something like that.
It's running with the devil.
Running with the devil, but what's he playing? It's not a bass. It's a.
Oh yeah, no, it's not like just a mop or something, or like a.
I'm not sure. A weapon or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. It's not. He's pretending to play guitar with some
It's
sort
like
of household item.
Torture tool, like.
Yeah.
He said this was his dad's favourite movie of him.
Really?
Yeah, his dad must have been like a metalhead because Sandler does like. Is it Billy Madison? He's got like the REO Speedwagon. I know not necessarily metal, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Feels so deliberate though, like he's making it for somebody, but he does have sometimes quite a like dark sense of humour.
Jimmy, who is I guess the devil's assistant.
Yeah, it's the sort of the farmer sort of from Waterboy.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
So he comes in and basically sets up the plot of the movie, which is, your dad's going to give his speech today. He might be retiring, blah blah blah. You and your two brothers have to go and meet him at the hall to find out what's happening. So he basically just expositions what's happening.
Yeah, it's the setup surrounded by like these Limp Bizkit corn posters. We get some.
This is a 2000 room.
This is Flip the movie. Do you remember Flip?
Flip, no.
Remember Hellfire? Shops in Glasgow, 2000
era.
Right,
I was thinking of movies. Flip is where I bought my chain from.
Is that where you got your chain?
I got my chain for Flip.
I had to say to my mum, like, for Christmas one year, I was like, "Oh, can you go up to Flip and get me this T-shirt? It says I love cats on it."
Yeah. Oh, what did it actually say?
She took like my grandpa and that up, which I didn't know.
Oh no.
But they went for the full Christmas shop and they went into Flip and they picked up, which was, do you remember the brand Pawn Star?
Yep, I do.
It was a Pawn Star brand I love. And it was
Pussy.
a picture of a cat. That's it.
Yep.
I was going to avoid that. It was a picture of a cat, but they got me the T-shirt though.
Oh, she bought it? That's a cool mum. That's a good
cool.
thing to do. My mum used to buy my clothes, like, for so long. I didn't have the heart to, like, tell her that But this is all barking.
That's lovely.
Buy me a new Rigget. Did you ever get a Rigget? You used to get me a Rigget all the time, which is like jeans and a t-shirt, but they were like matching, so like it was like blue jeans and a blue t-shirt with like black shoes. And it was rotten, man. And when I first started, this isn't even that long ago, when I first started dating Stephanie, she said to me like, I nearly dumped you because your style. But it's because my mum bought my clothes, and I hated all my clothes, but like my mum would buy it for me, so I didn't need to spend money. But I had the jeans that you got for like these shops like Sphere. Did you ever have Sphere? Was that a shop up in Glasgow? For lack of a better expression, your Neddy brands. But my mum thought this was dead trendy, so she'd buy me like jeans, but there's jeans with hundreds of pockets. Man, this voice. We need to talk about it, we'll need to address it, might as well get into it. This Nicky voice, because he makes a choice here. He was hit in the face with a shovel by his brother, which is quite funny. This voice is like...
Does it irritate you?
It doesn't anymore. I think you get used to it. He talks like this all the way through the movie, and it's really irritating. But you get used to it, don't you? How was that?
That was good.
Thank you.
We'll work with that. What's your history with this?
This movie?
Yeah.
This is probably one of those video shop ones. This is one of the few Sandler movies that I didn't own. However, I own now. I bought this movie last night. I had the box set. I don't know if you remember the VHS sleeve box set of Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison and Big Daddy.
That's a good collection.
That was the collection, the Adam Sandler collection I got it for Christmas one
He's
year.
going overboard there as a
No,
special feature.
it was only the 3 of them, unfortunately, but that was my
Did
introduction.
it come free with that DVD?
I had those 3, the sort of 3 best Sandler movies, I would say, at least at the time.
This was brought in via a cart to my classroom and stuff like that. They played stuff like this all the time.
Really? In your school?
Yeah, no worries at all. I just never really got into it at all. I couldn't figure out what he was doing either at the time. I was huge on Happy Gilmore, mostly Billy Madison, to be honest. I adore that movie. Nicky's no George Clooney.
Aye, that was a bit weird.
Pete Davidson does my favourite Little Nicky. Did you see that?
No, I tend to avoid Pete Davidson.
I like Pete Davidson, man. Big Time Adolescence is a great movie. He's phenomenal in it. The SNL with Sandler, he does this like family reunion, and Davidson nails it. He's phenomenal.
Fair enough. He's not for me. We're introduced to the brothers, Adrian and Cassius. I believe Adrian is Reza fans.
Yep.
And Cassius is...
I adore Tiny Lister, man. Friday, obviously, but even like small parts. Dark Knight, really cool presence to him.
He's very good in Dark Knight. I hated that scene though. Would never happen.
It's such a bad spot in that movie.
That is one of the best movies, but that scene is like so bad. It's
one of the best crime movies ever.
Yeah.
It is phenomenal, but I agree that scene is...
The boat scene's so stupid. It would have been a race to see who presses the button faster.
They're using a human dartboard.
Yeah, that's quite funny, and it shows them immediately as evil.
It's like practical in some scenes. It's pretty
There is a lot of effects in this movie, obviously, but most of the set dressings, especially in Hell, are like sets. I think it looks really cool, especially the Hell stuff. I think Hell looks cool in this movie.
Final set piece is stunning. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, you're right.
Tiny Lister makes Nicky punch himself in the nuts. I'm laughing.
Yeah, so we have this a couple of times through the movie. They do mind wrestling, so they can kind of speak to each other like mind control. Of course, Nicky isn't good at it at the start. He's too nervous, whatever, so he makes him punch himself in the nuts.
Harvey Keitel is Satan.
He does a good job, I think, in this movie. He gets his paycheck. He's alright, and he's kind of sweet. I like him and Sandler.
Yeah.
I don't think he's very good as like the devil. He's not very intimidating, but he's quite nice at the sort of warm dad stuff.
To be fair, like they've got Harvey Keitel in this like Halloween costume.
It's really bad. He's wearing a black catsuit, essentially.
Yeah, with some red piping or something like that.
Yeah, he's got a bad cape.
This is when John Lovitz reappears and he says, "Ooh, a window." "Hello, Mr. Devil. I like cape."
Again, if he's on screen, I'm laughing. This is so funny. And then the devil just clicks his fingers and the bird shows up behind them again. Ladies' night plays again. He runs away.
Ladies' night.
Once again, runs away shouting, "I deserve this."
Harvey Keitel as Satan wants to pass the throne on.
The 3 sons are sitting there thinking, that one of them is going to inherit the throne from Harvey Keitel. Harvey Keitel then announces that he is going to remain the devil for the next 10,000 years because he feels he's the only one between them that can maintain the balance of good and evil, I guess. Obviously, Adrian and Cassius are not happy about this. They react angrily. Nicky is delighted because he loves his dad and he's happy that he's staying there and he doesn't care for his brothers too much.
Jimmy interrupts.
He's got 2 o'clock, yes.
He says there's a schedule to shove a pineapple up Hitler's butt.
This is funny. You need to torture somebody, torture Hitler.
Hitler comes in, he's in a maid's outfit, that's fine. He's offered a range of pineapples.
There's a cupboard full of pineapples, which is quite funny. Of course, he goes for the small one. Harvey Keitel just shake, no. And then he has to pick the big one. He picks this big meaty pineapple.
It is a pineapple.
It's a melter. Jimmy and some other assistant bend him over, carefully turns it around to make sure the spikes are pointing up the way. Shoves up his bum and it makes this horrible pooping squelch noise. It goes...
I didn't even notice that, Ryan Stoke, man. Tiny Lister starts a fight with this big monster and calls it Big Man.
Aye, that's quite funny, and it backs off from him. It's too scared of him. Dan Marino, this is a weird cameo, and again, I'm lost here because I don't know anything about sports, about American sports. I think the joke is here that he's not won a Super Bowl, so he would be so desperate to win a Super Bowl that he would make a deal with the devil. I
just thought, like, respectfully, the guy, I know he's like a legend. I don't know what he is, but I just know him for Ace Ventura. He's a good actor.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, handsome enough dude on screen, stuff like that.
He's very good in Ace Ventura. He's very good in this. It's a very small scene, but he's very charismatic.
Marino!
Aye, a bunch of...
Cassius and Adrian boost to Earth. Dennis Nealon.
Oh, he's trying to chase them at first, and he jumps through the gate and it freezes over. Hell freezes over. And Dennis Nealon shouting, "You guys really suck!" Which is quite funny. Then he runs over to the devil to explain himself.
He apologises to the devil and he repeatedly says, I know you'd be cool, you're the man. You're the man to the devil. And he's so good at little bits like that.
Yeah.
Like, he is one of Sandler's like most, you can rely on him to deliver.
Absolutely.
You even saw like Just Go With It, and he's the...
That's right, he's in Just Go With It, yep.
He's the surgeon who's had too much surgery on himself and he laughs like...
So funny.
Satan, as revenge, plants a pair of titties on Dennis Nealon's head, and we now refer to him as Tithead.
Tithead, I think he's known as Tithead for the rest of the movie. When he first notices, he says, "Do I have boobs in my head?" And Sandler goes, "Yeah, big ones." Then introduced to the devil's dad, Big Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh my god, no way! Rodney!
Rodney Dangerfield is just doing flat out stand-up routine in this movie.
How many bad Rodney impressions have we done over the years? We've never nailed it.
No, he can't. Loads of people, everybody has a Rodney Dangerfield impression. Apart from us, we cannot get a good one. I get no respect. Was that alright?
That's alright.
That's the best one I've ever done.
That's alright.
The funny thing is, when the devil tells him to go back to his room and says, "Hey, can I take him with me?" Pointing at the head.
You say that's funny, that's weird. You're weird. You're weird.
If you knew somebody with big massive knockers on their head, would you know what to look at them?
No.
Play with them?
No. What's wrong with you, man? Honest to God, you in this...
This is Lucifer, remember? This is like the grandfather of Satan, I believe, so like, he's pretty twisted.
But you want to date as well?
I'm just curious, man.
They need to send someone to Earth to kill Cassius and Adrian.
Right, this scene is a bit rushed. Jimmy, who we mentioned, is the exposition guy. He knows far too much what's going on here.
The plot of this movie. Jimmy's scenes were clearly inserted to explain the plot of this movie. It's all over the place.
It's so precise. He's basically like, your brothers have been through this gates of hell. They need to be brought back at the exact same time for some reason. Doesn't really explain why. So you need to put them in this flask. Don't worry, we just happen to have this magical flask here.
This flask.
He pulls out this flask, which is the MacGuffin of the movie. You need to get them to drink from it. They'll get sucked inside, and then you bring them back through the gates of hell. And you'll save the day. Your dad is going to start dying right now.
Dying of bad CGI, man.
He starts dying of, I guess it's leprosy, because like bits of him start falling off.
CGI prissy, man. It is wild. Like, that is some of the worst CGI I've ever seen.
Bad.
I've seen some.
It's pretty bad. But it's just the way that he knows. I think he's like, Satan's finger falls off and Jimmy picks up and sniffs it and goes, "I'd say he's got about a week." It's like, how do you know he's got a week? This has never happened before.
Did you catch the demon that goes, "Grouse"?
That was a good impression. You nailed that.
I like the demons and stuff like that. They've got this like goosebumps quality to
Kind
them.
of reminds me of, not as quite good quality, but see like the orcs for Lord of the Rings.
Some of the more monstrous ones though look like the monsters from Welcome to Horrorland, the Goosebumps.
All right, yeah.
Episodes, man, they look amazing. Coming up from the ground on Earth when Nicky, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, immediately gets hit by a train. That was funny. He comes up, I guess it's Central Station. He turns around, he sees this light, he waves at it, hits him and he dies instantly.
We are introduced to Beefy.
Beefy the dog. How what's your feelings on Beefy?
I think the effect is really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, you don't notice at all. It looks like a talking dog.
Aye, but it's quite good. It's kind of like Men in Black.
Frank.
Yeah, the talking dog totally works. Beefy basically explains to him that his brothers can shapeshift and they can turn into anybody. Sandler immediately says, "Alright, Dan, the jig is up. Come on, get in the flash."
Suspects him.
Immediately, which is hilarious. That is so funny.
Okay, Adrian.
Come on, the jig is up, buddy. That was funny. He's like, "Not me." He's like, "Oh, okay." This is where we're introduced to the first of a couple of Quentin Tarantino cameos.
I'm burning now.
You make the Lord very nervous.
Nicky's outfit. This is when he gets dressed. He gets the long blue bubble jacket and red flared sweatpants.
It looks horrible, but the joke is that obviously it comes from hell, so everything, I guess, outside of hell is freezing to him. It kind of plays into the plot a little bit later on.
One of the coolest things, though, that's how he dresses in real life. Like, money hasn't changed
He
him
dresses
whatsoever.
like a tramp.
I dress like him, Ryan.
You're no Adam Sandler though. See if I was making Adam Sandler money, I would. Oh,
I wouldn't. He walks about comfortable, man. That is
too
cool.
comfy.
I love
Baggy
it.
shorts and a basketball
Brilliant.
t-shirt.
Oh, that's how rich I want to be.
Oh, just fucking tuck yourself in, mate.
No, I disagree, sir. I'm sorry. He's wearing gloves, eating fried food, man.
Yeah,
That's
disgusting.
sticking with you.
The Popeyes chicken advertising in this movie is absurd. I think there's about 6 references to Popeyes chicken throughout this movie.
Sandler also mentions Subway and Happy Gilmore throughout. I mean, this guy's getting paid in food and he is happy. Popeye's chicken's fucking awesome.
Yeah, hi, that's funny. So he gets hit by a bus
Yeah.
right after he eats this chicken and goes back to hell again. This is when we see the gatekeeper and the demon. I don't know the demon's name, but the sort of big hairy demon.
I've went with Monster.
He's rubbing his...
Tithead is getting a massage from the monster. And Sandler says,
I like your brassiere. He says, do you mind not telling anybody about this?
and Nealon says, can you not tell anyone about this?
Like-
Okay.
It's a funny scene.
Beefy explains that he spent the devil's money at a strip club.
Yeah, so he says, your dad gave me some money, I was to get you a nice place in the Upper West Side. I had some financial problems and it cuts to him in the strip club.
So we're introduced to Todd, who is played by Alan Covert.
Another Sandler alum who's in most of these movies.
Is the roommate pretty good in this?
I think he's very funny in this. The only part of the movie, and we'll get to it later, that makes me a bit uncomfortable is the sort of gay jokes directed towards him. Do you want to know what rent is? And he says, yes, what is rent? $1,200 a month split down the middle. Manhattan rent, £600 a month.
And he's a aspiring actor.
How is he getting that?
See, when we first see him though, he's practicing this monologue to this little Victorian mirror, and it's this monologue to his gran. The rent is ridiculous. I know it's the 90s, but Sandler movies, you need to remember they take place in a universe where he can always afford to live in the largest studio
His
apartment.
big daddy house is ridiculous.
He says he's from the South. The deep South. It's a running gag that I
He
don't
laughs
think
to himself.
I don't think it worked the first time.
It wasn't funny. I think the point is though, it's not supposed to be funny, but he thinks it's funny because he knows where he's from.
Yeah.
Whereas to other people,
I
it's just...
understand the joke. Pure mansplaining, man.
Explain it to you, you'll find it funny.
Yeah.
But it's just no funny. That's like
Oh, I get it. It's cause he's fae hell and that's the furthest south.
Sorry I done that to you.
Nicky sleeping on the radiator is a good visual
This is
gag.
funny. He's growling, he's doing the sort of one. The roommate's looking at him terrified, he crosses himself.
The amount of people that would put up with that in New York just to live there, they would.
Oh, 100% aye.
You are right, like, real estate there, you would put up with a demon sleeping on a radiator. Just so they'd pay off the rent.
Yep, that's what it's like.
And in London, Beefy pisses on his doormat because he says no dogs are allowed. Funny.
So the church scene, the actor is Louis Arquette is the sort of minister here.
This movie's got a couple of Arquettes.
Yes, it does. I don't know if he's related. I didn't look this up.
Mate, all the Arquettes are related. I've got a cousin that's an Arquette.
So he's the priest. He basically is trying to corrupt everybody. So this church scene minister, or the priest, or whatever he is, comes out. He's possessed by, I guess it's Adrian, and he's basically trying to corrupt everybody. I believe Cassius is controlling the mayor. They're basically trying to corrupt the city, turn everybody evil, so that when they do kill them, they'll all go to hell and they can feast on their souls, kind of thing. So this is pretty funny. The speech that the priest gives is basically Jesus said a lot of stuff but never actually done anything.
Yeah, he drifts with some nonsense, and he the whole like drive is to convince people to sin. It turns into a really funny scene.
There's some really good lines in this scene. I laughed.
A woman stands up and says, "God gave my son the strength to get off drugs."
Man, I knew your son. He was better off on the drugs.
A couple stand up. Oh man.
This had me on the floor. After years of trying, God blessed us with a child.
The priest says, "Your friend Fitzy helped conceive all night long." And it cuts to Fitzy, who's sitting beside
He's raising the roof.
and he's got this big satisfied smile.
This had me dying. It's the way that he done it. I can't do it justice. It's a visual joke, but it's the big stupid grin on his face.
We cut to Lister, who is the mayor, and he's wearing tinfoil shoes.
Oh, that's right, aye. Again, the joke is that they're always cold, so they have to, like, I think the priest is standing on a pizza. Remember? Because they always have to be standing on something hot because they get cold there easily, I think, is the gag.
It's announced, "Let the sin begin." This scene was great.
Yeah, so this is the sort of people of New York slowly turning evil.
And we get a bit of
That's right. So we've got a montage now on Nicky running around New York just asking people to get in this flask. Yeah. Pretty problematic that the first person he asks is an Asian delivery guy who gets off his bike and starts doing kung fu and beats him up.
Why, man, like, do you know what's worse, Ryan? It's in the trailer, man. Like, this was in the marketing for the movie. That sucks, man.
He goes into another Popeyes and he's like, "Right, get in the flask." He's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I'm talking about an 8-piece. Come on, let's go, buddy."
We get a lot of Central Park. I stood on the rocks that he's on. I know this bit, staring onto Essex House.
Yeah.
Did you go to Central Park?
I went to Central Park, yeah.
I would just get lost there any day. It's just the best.
Aye, it was great, aye.
It's the best, man. We wandered Central Park for hours and it was just phenomenal. Falls asleep on the rocks, he makes demon noises, he scares dogs and everyone else around him. He sort of does this, "I will eat your heart."
This is where we're introduced to the metalheads who become his best friends.
We get Peter Dante, who you'd know best from like Waterboy, like, and we get I'm gonna butcher this, Jonathan Loran.
Yeah, so you've got the one that goes, "Oh, I talk like this," and then I talk like this, like the sort of two metalhead guys.
If I was to pick like player 1 and player 2, I'd pick they two out of his pals. That's a good.
They're totally fun in this movie.
I'm not picking a Schneider. You're getting left with a Schneider. I was a Schneider when they were picking the football teams in school, man. I was left last.
Aye, me too, aye.
Nicky gets robbed by one Mr.
John Witherspoon, who is great in the short amount of time he's got in this movie. So John Witherspoon, the second member of Friday to be in this movie.
We get some Zebrahead over this. I saw Zebrahead live. Do you know Zebrahead?
No.
Never mind.
Right, okay, no, but I know the song that plays at
it's
this
a
point.
decent track.
Yeah.
The rest of the nah.
So the thing that's funny about this is he finds John Witherspoon on the street selling his stuff, right? But you notice he's selling his flask and he's selling the single piece of chicken. He's selling a chicken drumstick, which is hilarious.
And he says, "John Witherspoon is amazing. You're messing up my business, bitch." Crazy ass. And he's motioning like punching.
It's a little Muhammad Ali impression.
This is when we're introduced to the amazing Patricia Arquette.
The love interest in this movie. Aye, she's good in this film.
She's kinda just like, playing the Donna Reed, from It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, she's
like,
a little bit
mousy, or
mousy.
whatever you want to call it. They're pulling a Velma a bit like. But I will take any form of Patricia Arquette. Like,
oh yeah, no, she's very
Dream
good.
Warriors, man.
He offers her a bit of chicken. It's just funny. She says no.
He offers her off-chewed chicken. He offers her a bit of off-chewed chicken. Sorry, we get Tarantino. Why are you taunting me with your darkness? Why? And he runs into a pool. Beefy's mentioned, and we get a side gag here. That's
the need to be in this film. So we get this weird side cutaway where it's a dog pumping another dog, and he's going, "Say, Mr. Beefy, say, Mr. Beefy," and it's like it's a man's voice that answers and goes, "Mr. Beefy," and he goes, "And I love you."
Your description is better than the scene.
It's not a good scene. It's really weird and unnecessary.
Patricia Arquette's character name, we go with actors. It's just kind of easier and more identifiable. Do you know, Hank? So it's always alliterations. Did you notice that with female characters like Vicky Valancourt?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Patricia Arquette, the love interest, explains that she knew young that she wasn't much to look at, so she makes pretty things. It's Patricia Arquette. It's Patricia Arquette in the year 2000.
Right, okay, so Sandler, in this movie at least he gives himself a character who is portrayed as not being attractive, even though the actress is.
Ryan, this is like kind of before the change. He does Punch Drunk Love, and then like every character post Mr. Deeds he's sort of the cool guy.
And he's got a beautiful wife in every movie.
Probably a huge wine.
But he writes himself with this really cool job. He's always like an architect.
Do you know the worst side of him, man? Was I Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, where he was like a sort of chauvinist, and it's like, that doesn't seem like you whatsoever. I preferred this version.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
This is when we cut to Harvey Keitel and his mad CGI legs, man. This is so bad. This is bad CGI, right? Oh.
I remember when I first seen this, thinking this was funny, the fact that every time he cut to him, like, more of his body was falling apart. Which is a funny gag in theory. It does not work though. Watching this back, it looks terrible.
He is moving, he's like moving at a Michael Flatley rate, but the CGI can't keep up with him at all.
Dangerfield comes back out and just basically starts just telling jokes. I feel like he just comes out and does a set at this point and they just film some of it and put it in the movie.
Rodney has... I wonder if they even explained the synopsis a little, Nicky. He has no idea.
He's got a dressing gown on and he's just telling jokes. Hey, Chewbacca, you can't look at my first wife. Oh, she had more hair. Hey, I get no respect.
That's when he's at the camp with Tithead and the monster.
Yeah.
It's good, man.
It's funny banter.
I'll take any Dangerfield.
Yeah,
even
exactly.
Do you remember the animated? He played the animated dog, Rodney.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
Amazing.
No, he's funny in this movie, but again, as you said, he doesn't need to be in it. They'll just put him in it because it's on Dangerfield. I assume one of Sandler's heroes. We got a news report that the mayor has lowered the drinking age from 21 to 10. That's pretty funny. It shows you his 10-year-olds stumbling at a bar waiting.
Adrian is introduced. He's eating
a big old slice of pizza and drinking peppermint schnapps.
He's washing it down with He's washing pizza down with peppermint schnapps.
Yes.
That's vile. What does he make him say?
Do I need to say that? I want to put my winky in your kinky sinky. And then she walks away and he shouts on her. And he sticks a finger up her.
Adrian makes him stick the finger up.
And she runs away so upset.
Nicky gets run over.
Again, run over, dies. The metal dudes see this and they get covered in his blood and they're like, yeah, awesome. They're so happy.
They really like all this gruesome like metal stuff.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, they're really funny.
This Regis cameo is excellent.
Right, I wrote this, thank you. Right, so, sorry, I got too excited there. Regis Philbin is really funny. I've seen this movie a few times. I didn't know who Regis Philbin was, I guess, when I was a kid, so it didn't make sense until just watching it last night. Obviously he's been possessed.
He tells the story that he got into a sort of traffic incident with someone and he end up bashing their brains in,
Yeah,
but he's
that's right.
doing it with so much joy. He compares himself to De Niro in Goodfellas.
The news reporter says that they've changed the slogan from I love New York to I love hookers.
Beefy tries to convince Nicky to learn his powers. We get a really cool blowout poster in Todd's apartment. John Travolta.
I didn't see this. Yeah, so Beefy's trying to convince him to do some powers. He tries to like do something with this can of Coke. It turns into Pepsi. Not really a good gag. Funny line coming up when he gets mad at Beefy. His roommate Todd's TV blows up. And he's like, can my TV just blow up? And Nicky turns around and goes, you're damn right it did. He's like, what? He's like, what? Nothing.
The Globetrotters scene, I was not into it, man.
I loved this when I was a kid.
You
This
went-
does not hold up.
Dana
This-
Carvey kind of sucks in this scene. It's not a great character to begin with.
Yeah, I didn't listen to Dana Carvey until recently. Obviously, he's doing an impression because he's heavily in makeup and stuff. Funny part is at this Globetrotters game where they interviewed a kid in the audience. So like, why are you here to see the Globetrotters? Like, I'm here for the beer and the bitches.
That's so good. The roommate Todd asks, did you just talk? And Beefy says no. I died. We get Frank Severo in this, who would the host of the
He's
game.
sort of the host. He's the best because it's like, he's giving them the basketball and saying that he has to score the goal and everybody wins a slice of pizza.
Totally underrated in Wedding Singer. He was fantastic in that.
So Cassius goes to drink it and gets sucked into the thing, and that's just him out of the movie now. The black lady in the audience is like, that's some straight up David Copperfield shit. I was like, oh man, that's a bit obnoxious.
We get one good sight gag. It's of an elderly woman taking her top off and
That's
swinging
swinging
it.
over her head.
Best
That's-
Sandler kind of sight gags.
Yeah.
The Metalheads bonding scene.
That scene was kind of sweet up until a point. I liked the part where they're listening to the soundtracks. They're listening to Ozzy and they're playing it backwards. Sandler gets out the Chicago soundtrack and plays it. I like the fact that he just plays it normally at first, and all the Metalheads are like, this is a great song. And then they rewind it and it says, spill the blood of the innocent or something like that. That's pretty funny. Again, they're eating more Popeyes. Sandler has hundreds of like just chicken bones around him. I guess he's getting the munchies because we find out that.
They've took edibles.
So they're all high, sitting around having fun. This scene is fine until they start making loads of gay jokes at their roommate again. Why is it? Because he's an actor? Is that why he's gay? Like, they don't really.
They never really go into it, no.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't really. This scene is a bit. The scene was fine, but those gay jokes are kind of.
It ends really funny though as Nicky's looking out the window. Alan Covert appears behind him as a reflection and says, go to her.
That is funny, yeah.
We get a nice acoustic version of Everlong.
So he's climbing up this fire escape.
He says he smells coconuts. Hey!
Yes, this is a weird scene.
A wee Clint Howard cameo as the nipple guy.
I think he's referred to as nipples.
One nipple guy in here. Eh?
Oh, yes, that's me. Listen to the Kiss and Booth episode for that reference. But yes, so
do you know that song that yeah.
No,
He's dancing to that song, Clint Howard.
And he's rubbing his nipples, which is fine. And I like the way it's played off. He just sort of looks at him. He's like, "Do you know where Valerie is?" And he's like, "Oh, upstairs, one door to the right or something." He's just like,
Rubbing
"Okay."
his nips.
He's just like, "Okay, thank you," and he just disappears.
He says good luck and Clint Howard replies, I don't need luck, I'm good.
That scene hinges on being problematic, but I think the thing that saves it is he never calls out. He's just like, "Right, thank you." He just lets him continue being him. He doesn't like call him weird or anything.
It's staged weird though because it tilts to the outfit and stuff possibly. I think from memory it's a good cameo by Clint Howard's great, like Ice Cream Man.
He'll do anything. Aye. He'll be in your film,
Oh man.
especially if his brother's making it. I'll do it. I'll be your weird forehead guy.
We get some Incubus, pardon me, oh, I stop burn. I like the opening to that song. You know, the
Yes.
I like that. C1C kicks off, that fucking
His mad
Brandon,
voice.
man, with that, I had to live through Drive, man. Do you remember Drive?
Yes.
Hold the wheel and drive. Everybody hung onto that thing as if it was like a philosophical.
That was your note.
He falls off the fire escape.
And then he floats to Patricia Arquette, who again isn't like, what the fuck, why are you flying? She's just kind of like slightly curious.
But she punches him.
She punches him, which is quite funny, for, sticking the finger up at her, blah blah blah. He then explains the whole plot of the movie, and she just accepts it pretty easily without that many questions. And then he's like, "Do you want to fly with me?" He's just started floating, and he's confident enough to take a passenger.
We get some Superman effects here.
This is Superman 1, like 1970.
We get some lit over the soundtrack. I saw lit live. It was amazing.
Good for you. That must have been fun.
Lit are good, man.
I don't know.
I think they're mostly country now.
Are they?
I think so.
They're flying through the air, and she says, "Oh, look, it's Empire State Building." And he goes, "Look, Popeye's chicken's right down there."
We get Tarantino again.
What does he do again? He makes something happen to him this time. He uses his powers to make like a fire hydrant or something happen.
It explodes in his nards.
Well, it's like-
We get another nard shot. Ow! We get Michael McKean as the police chief. He announces that they're hunting Nicky.
Yes, Michael McKean's very good in this. He's good in everything. Sandler's obviously it was a $50 million bounty on his head, and everybody starts recognising him. And the shop owner says to his wife, "You hold him." Punch him in the dick.
Till he passes out.
I couldn't get through it.
That's so funny.
It's just that visual of punching somebody in the dick until they pass out too many times. You see he punched them.
I wish they did it. He runs away and we get some POD. This is, and I don't know if this is every POD track.
No, it is. This is every
This just sounds like Alive.
This is Alive. It's not Alive, but it's Alive.
This is Southtown, and they just go, Southtown. It's just alive.
I want alive for the very first time.
Southtown
alive. I wish I could fly. It's the same song.
Are they still gone?
No, surely
Still
not.
gone? I look down for a minute, I look up, and wheelchair users are pursuing Sandler. What's going on, Ryan?
So they're playing basketball.
Help me.
He's running away. They're playing wheelchair basketball in this sort of court, and then they see him running past. So all the wheelchair users are now chasing them along with everybody else in the city of New York. The wheelchair users are obviously going down quite a high speed, and the momentum can't stop them. So he cuts into an alleyway, and they all crash into this bus. I will say this though, it was good, like good stunt work. It was like they take like a hard fall into this bus, and I like the fact that the bus, I don't know if you notice, has the advertisement on the bus is Chicago.
Yeah.
Which goes back to the soundtrack.
Amazing.
So that was kind of funny. He then goes down this alleyway and he has to release the evil. And the CGI here, man.
Oh, it's wild, the spiders.
He turns into thousands of little tiny spiders with his own heat.
Oh, these spiders came straight from Joe's apartment. Mind Joe's apartment.
No.
Mind Joe's apartment.
No,
Mind
no.
Joe's apartment. Jerry Connell, man. Jerry O'Connell. It was a Jerry O'Connell joint, man. Oh my god. I was so buzzing for Joe's apartment. It was this like MTV production where he had this manky apartment. CGI cockroaches that all had different personalities.
Was it good?
I don't think so. In my head it's still brilliant, but so's Drop Dead Fred. I don't want to revisit either of them.
This is some like video game CGI.
This doctored Scarface footage is so good.
Because it's the sort of thing that you would put on Instagram.
They've like done this like copy and paste of his face.
And it's so bad intentionally, it's so cheap looking.
And it's so to believe. It's a pure Judge Dredd Running Man style takedown of Little Nicky where they're saying, look at what this guy's done, but they've just stuck his face on Scarface.
And it's not even his voice, it's still Tony Montana doing the voice.
It's still Pacino doing it. And Nicky says, that's not me, it's that cockroach Montana. The third act is pretty decent though, as this chaos is totally kicking off. I'm kinda into it.
Obviously the whole mob of New Yorkers want to get to him and he's sort of stuck in his apartment, so he says to the metal guys, you're going to have to kill me. They hit his head off a counter and he says, no, that just hurt a lot. This scene, I laughed so hard when the roommate says, I've always wanted to kill a man. And then it does a really great hard cut to him just drowning him in the bath, and
It's so dark.
it's so dark, but it's
This reminds me of one of our. How often did we talk about that Billy Madison scene where he's just hosing the kid and he's laughing?
it's so funny.
It's so dark.
It's so dark. The kid's like, "Who are you, Mister? Stop!"
I don't even know you.
Is that Norm Macdonald?
It's
Another
not. It's
guy.
the shorter guy.
Yeah. It was so funny.
It's so funny.
He's like, "What?" He's like, "You okay there, bud?" He's like, "Yeah."
It's too hot for a penguin to be outside.
Oh man, we need to do that movie as well off that film. When he's drowning him in the bathtub and he shouts, "Damn you, Kevin Spacey!" That joke works on so many different levels now.
This Harvey Keitel CGI bothers me, Ryan. This bothers me. This is like that Twilight Wayne. It's like that Twilight Wayne, Ryan.
The weird baby.
Twilight Wayne.
So at this point, is it just a mouth and two arms?
It's a mouth, but the contrast is off. It looks like slime with flesh coloured. It's awful. We get Take a Picture by Filter. I adore this song.
I don't have that down here.
I really like that song. It's in Girl Next Door 2004.
Oh man, what a weird movie that
I
is.
adore that movie, man.
I've not seen it since it came out. I've seen that when it came out and I've not seen it since.
You have to do that. Alicia Cuthbert in that movie. It's Risky Business updated. It's phenomenal. We need to do it, man. This song's great. It's when Nicky goes to heaven.
He goes back up. This is where the two metalheads go to the police chief, Michael McKean, see we know where Nicky is. They give him 25 million in suitcases. He says, but he says, but you need to know he might be the son of the devil. So Michael McKean jumps from in front of the counter and grabs them both and picks them up and chokes them and says like, "Well, I have to be extra careful," or whatever.
He the whole time is like,
And they're like, "Oh man, that was cool, do it again." And they grab his horns and try to make him choke them again, which is quite funny. They take the cops to Grand Central Station. They arrest Beefy and Todd.
That subway scene kind of goes on too long, man.
It's a bit convoluted.
They were padding it here, it feels like.
Yeah, there's a one funny line where, like, you know, Todd and Beefy are getting taken away and they turn to the metalheads and go, "Judas." And he goes, "Judas Priest, maybe."
I really liked it, but where Reese Ifans is making a huge thing of taking a drink from the flask and he does this big monologue. And Pete just goes, "Okay, just drink it." Nicky gets called out. They fight. A train hits Nicky.
Yeah, so he grabs Valerie and basically says he's going to kill her or whatever. Then this is where the dog...
Patricia Arquette's kind of an afterthought in this.
Oh, totally. Beefy and Todd's getting arrested. The dog stops to take a piss and a smoke bomb comes out and one of the cops yells, "That dog's got smoke balls!"
That's so stupid, man.
Just stupid scene. This whole scene, this movie kind of falls apart here. So the dog gasses everybody and runs away and you hear Todd going like, "Run, Beefy, run!" So Beefy then runs to Grand Central Station, then shoots an arrow at his dick. Is that where we have to believe that it came from, his dick? It hits Reese Effins. Is it Effins or Effans? Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Kevin Perry.
Twin Town, man. You saw Twins Town?
No. They all fall in the train track. Nicky jumps on, grabs Valerie, throws her back onto the platform, and both him and his brother are hit by the train. He wakes up now in heaven. See when it's just Harvey Keitel's mouth left, and they're all trying to give him encouragement, but saying like it's not that bad and stuff. And Dangerfield goes, "Yeah, you can still play harmonica."
That is brilliant. Do you think they even tried to explain CGI? You know what they did?
No, he's just talking to a chair. He's just
like
talking to a
Eastwood. When they spoke to that empty chair
at the Republican conference. Man, Reese Witherspoon hasn't aged a day.
I'll always forget she's in this, Ryan. Like,
so it's such a
time.
small part and she's really good in it.
Again, like, amazing actor. Like, brilliant. Can adapt to comedy, drama. Yeah. It's no thing at all.
This is a small cameo, but she's really funny when she's in it.
Plays his mum.
Chubbs is back.
Carol Weathers.
Carol Weathers. So Carol Weathers as Chubbs. And they make a point for him to point at him and he see that he's got his hand back. I love seeing Happy Gilmore where his hand just keeps getting destroyed in more elaborate ways and it's just messed up, this wooden hand.
He is a comic genius. Arrested Development is...
He's so good in Arrested Development.
see the various ways he'll tell you make a stew. There's a bit he just throws a line out. Yeah, that he buys all his cars at police auctions. That guy is like, what a career. Badass action star, comedy, and now he is directing some of the best Star Wars. It's so cool, and he's amazing in it. Huge. Chubbs is fantastic. It's all in the hips.
It's all in the hips, baby.
All in the hips, baby. Tithead's getting some titty twisters.
Funny.
It's funny. We get some Power Man 5000 playing in hell. When worlds collide.
Is this when Adrian now takes the throne?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he sits there basically.
This whole scene is phenomenal. This is hell on earth.
Thorns grow out of his head.
He looks great as a demon.
Again, effects are good here because it's practical effects. Obviously, the CGI of them coming out of his head are CGI, but like the actual costume and stuff that he's wearing.
Past the transition, it looks really good.
Yeah.
I thought this whole set was fantastic. I really did.
Again, I said it earlier, all the hell stuff's really good.
We get a really cool transition from Power Man 5000 to like BB Max back here, baby. Until you're back in, baby.
Yes, yeah.
Heaven.
And Heaven's really funny. Reese
Good transition.
Reese Witherspoon takes a phone call. She answers it. I don't know who it is that's on that end. But, he's like, "Oh, my son's here." And she's like, "I don't know if he's hot. He's my son, you perv." I'd butchered that line, but she delivers it really funny.
She's so funny.
She's very funny.
They watch TV in heaven. We get this news anchor again.
This is funny.
So
That's
funny.
just that I'm cheating on my husband with the weatherman, and it cuts to the weatherman. He's raising the roof again, doing the hey hey hey.
I like that you do it every time. I think this movie probably would pair really well with This Is the End.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, again, I don't know where this clock comes from. I don't know why midnight is now the exact time that Harvey Keitel's going to die. But
we just need a hang. We need a hang.
We need somewhere to get to the end of the movie.
Here's the ticking clock.
Aye, ticking clock. We've got till midnight. Fair enough. It says they're going to see some of the most horrible stuff they've ever seen in their life, and it cuts to that guy rubbing his nipples again. And he says, "Well, maybe not that disgusting, but still pretty bad."
We get Tarantino again and he screams, "Holy shit, we're all gonna die!"
He runs in it, turn it a fire and dies.
He's great in this.
He's very good. And he commits to it, full, like, goes all in.
Yeah. But behind the scenes, it's been crazy for me. I hadn't totally watched this movie, so I had to watch some of this with you here.
Yeah, it's from this scene onwards, we watched the last 10-15 minutes of the movie.
You witnessed me watch this Henry Winkler scene. How
This
did I
was
react
fun.
to this scene?
You died at this scene, which was funny. I was watching you. I wasn't watching the screen. I was watching you watching this, which was quite funny. Henry Winkler shows up and you're like, "Oh man, you looked so excited to see him." Then he immediately gets covered in bees.
These CGI bees.
It's so funny, man.
It is so funny because he's fun, he's cool, he's fun, he's happy, and he's covered terribly in these CGI bees. Reese gives him some daft lamp.
It's an orb. Reese sends him back down and says that he has to now save the day or whatever. So he goes down and starts using the powers of good. So he starts like turning the demons into butterflies.
But, like, rainbows come from his hands. I lost it a couple of times at this.
Yeah, so first it's butterflies and all the demons are like, "Oh, butterflies, cute." And then it's like some flowers and some bunnies, sorry. And then release the awesome. And then this big, humongous, comically large bucket of Popeye's chicken appears. And then the demons start eating it. And one of the demons says, "Popeye's chicken's the shiz in it." What is that line? As he's trying to explain to him how to eat the chicken, he's like, you bite it and you put it down your throat. And one of the demons takes a bite out of the bunny rabbit, which is quite funny. He's like, "Not you!"
I don't like this throat hole business. I don't like him saying that. So, because Ryan's with me at this point, as I'm watching the movie, I asked Ryan, what's happening? I had to look away at a moment. Ryan says, "Patricia spat in Ivan's mouth."
That's right. Do you notice they're all hanging by their underwear or above this throne? Also, Beefy's got underwear, even though he's a dog. He doesn't wear trousers, but he's also hanging from underwear.
They put him in underwear to hang him.
Aye. And Todd says, "Oh, that's gross. She just can't spit in his mouth." And Beefy turns around and says, "Does that turn you on, RuPaul?" Again, a really weird gay joke at that point.
Yeah.
Even by the context, you wouldn't be making a gay joke at that moment. And like, it's also a girl spitting in a guy's mouth, so that's also not gay.
We get some more inner light stuff, like this inner light business.
Yeah, so like they have like a good versus evil off where he's like he makes a squirrel, and then the bad guy makes a snake to eat the squirrel, and then he turns the snake into some flowers, and then he turns the flowers into a gardener going over the flowers with a lawnmower. He turns the lawnmower into like a baby carriage with a mother looking after the baby. He turns the baby. Then he turns the baby into a little person who starts attacking the mother. And then Adam Sandler turns the mother into another little person, and then they embrace. It's a really weird scene. That's pretty elaborate.
Again, it's inspired with the lawnmower. I look down and I look up, and there's a couple of little people in love, and they're playing.
Blink and you'll miss it, mate. This is going at some rate. This movie, they're wrapping this thing up.
This thing is moving at a pace at this point. Oh,
Aye.
I'm trying to keep up with Nicky.
This is a tight 90-minute movie. I'll say that again. 90 minutes, perfect.
Excellent stuff. That's a coconut.
Yep.
They really like that, that liquefy feature.
Yeah.
On whatever package they had, they are liquefying in this.
He falls off this sort of cliff, and she puts a bed there to catch him, so that it like protects him. They have a pillow fight.
It looks like the bed in Archaeos. Remember Archaeos?
No, that's a very specific bed.
There was a bed in it.
No, okay, I'm sure there was.
Kids only sleeping to get him. It's kind of too zany for I don't know. Yeah.
It's kind of lost me at this point. He starts winning the fight, and then the guards grab Nicky. At this point, he forces Nicky to drink the flask, and he gets sucked into it, but before he does, he grabs his brother, so they both get sucked in. So now all three brothers are inside the flask, and all he sees this flask moving about as all three of them are fighting inside it. It's not very exciting cinematically, it's just to see a flash rolling about the ground.
I think the joke is it's because it goes on for so long, and that is the it doesn't work though.
That's where I hear Rob Schneider saying, "You can do it, kick him in his head, he balls."
Yeah.
Is that right, Rob Schneider?
Camden Schneider.
Making cabbage shop.
Making cafe.
Nobody cares about that. They have the big fight inside the flask. And then Nicky climbs out the flask, and then he kisses his girlfriend. You think that's the end of the movie, but then it turns out it's his brother Adrian, who's pretending to be Nicky, and he sticks this big horrible tongue down his girlfriend's throat.
You get this big CGI Gene Simmons tongue, and it turns into a bat.
It's really bad looking. Oh, he's poor. His girlfriend picks up the flask and gives some speech about like he has to believe in the butterflies or something, and that makes him pop out the flask.
Yeah.
And again, this movie it's falling apart here. I mean, it's really stupid, but anyway.
Chicken's falling out the bucket.
Aye, exactly. The clock's just about to strike midnight. He pulls out the MacGuffin in his pocket, the orb that we mentioned earlier. Here comes Ozzy Osbourne, who, I like the fact that he's wearing all white.
Man, Ozzy Osbourne, his eye line with the CGI is, I don't think they even said what CGI is. Again, they just said Ozzy.
Here's a tennis ball. Grab the tennis ball and bite it, because of course it does, because he's Ozzy. Remember that? Spits him into the flask, and that's it. That's your finale. Ozzy saves the day. Nicky's got the flask in his hand. He has to get down to hell before midnight chimes or whatever, so he asks his girlfriend to kill him, but he's like, one of the metal guys like, but if you kill me, you'll just go to heaven. So he's like, you need to do something bad then, so you'll go to hell. So he's then Schneider goes, "Hey, Nicky, cover Winkler and bees." And Helen Winkler's just pleading with him silently.
he's really swollen from the last bee attack.
That swollen face, he's just looking at him as if, please don't do this.
I do kind of think it's funny, this like E.T. ending. That like Alan Cobert's crying.
Yeah.
Todd's crying because little Nicky's gonna wait, even though he made his life significantly worse.
Yes.
And she totally midsummers Nicky with this giant brick.
Aye. That's again, Ozzy gives her the big brick.
She pure midsummers him a Dillion.
Aye, so she kills him, ends up in hell with his two brothers. The gates of hell open, all the souls compiling back through, and immediately Harvey Keitel is to get his body back with this terrible CGI.
The CGI
this
is
liquefying
killing
that you're talking
me, man.
about.
It's killing me, man. I can't, man. Oh, it's like a screensaver.
See how when you win at Solitaire on like Windows XP and it just like it covers all the screening cards if you just watch it on there?
I really won. I could barely minesweep. We get Reese Witherspoon doing All in the Hips. That's cool.
Yeah, they're all doing it up in heaven. Everybody's celebrating. They've saved the day. And that's basically the end of the movie.
We get some daft speech about heaven and hell.
I know, I didn't even cover that.
Fine. At one point, Harvey Keitel calls up to Reese Witherspoon to sort of get back together, and he refers to Reese Witherspoon as a daiquiri devil and goes,
He does this weird tongue thing. It's quite creepy, man.
So the flask gets pointed towards Hitler's butt, and the brothers get sentenced to Hitler's butt.
So they basically, Roddy Dangerfield has the flask and he says, welcome to your new home, boys, and he sticks up Hitler's ass. So they've been, I guess, the two brothers have been punished by now living in Hitler's asshole.
We get a title card 1 year later.
Okay, so this part was really nice. So a year later, and it sort of wraps up everybody's character. So Valerie and little Nicky have now got a baby. He spits fire at this wee old woman, tries to coochie-coo him at the park. Well, it's quite right, because don't touch my ween, stranger. Todd puts on a one-man show, only one man goes to see it, and it's nipples.
It's only really kind of worth mentioning a couple of them as side gags. They're not all Animal House hitters. Some of them are good though. Beefy marries a rat.
Yes, remember when they're all high at that party, he's talking about that was his high school girlfriend or something, so they get back together and they've got all these rat dog babies.
These rat mutant babies, kind of funny.
And it also shows you Tithead and the Demon have also got babies.
It says they had a litter.
Yeah, that's right. And then it says that Harvey Keitel and
we
Reese
get a split
Witherspoon.
screen of Keitel with some text.
Yeah, it says that he dated the Blair Witch and Cher.
That's funny.
Which is funny, but it has a really nice moment, which I didn't notice until just last night watching this, what it says, Nicky's mum's just started dating her fitness instructor, Chris Farley.
It suggests he's in heaven. That's that's the best version of that.
Yeah, and it's beautiful, it's very subtle.
Because Sandler's a class act like that. For better or worse, when I hear, he just makes movies with his friends in exotic locations, I think that's exactly what you should do.
Don't get me wrong, those movies are often terrible, but he looks after his friends. So he has a Netflix special stand-up. Well, it's not really a stand-up, it's more of a concert with funny songs. 100% Fresh or something on Netflix, which is worth watching because it's a very good special in general, but he's
brilliant in it.
Yeah, he's very good in it. But he does a song dedicated to Chris Farley, which I cannot watch without tearing up. It generally gets me every single time.
He doesn't have to do that.
No, but it's because he loves him, and he can tell he pours love into that song. The lyrics are beautiful as well. It's about
the nicest part. He talks about how much he loved his dad and how much his dad loved him.
Yep.
Meaning Farley's dad.
Yeah.
How incredible! He didn't have to do that.
Yeah, but fucking beautiful.
To use what you've got to keep your friend's memory alive. That's incredible. We're both huge on Farley.
That's how we first bonded as friends, really. I mean, I remember, I don't know how it started, but remember we were speaking about Billy Madison and I pulled out that Chris Farley impression.
I could not believe you knew that, man. Like, off the top of your head, you did it word for word. That Veronica Vaughn
is one hot piece of ice.
And I know from experience.
And that song, I was like, no, you don't. I was like, no, I don't know. But this friend of mine, him and her, got it on.
Got it on.
He's like, no, then he's like, no, I didn't. But you could imagine that. He's kind of looking at me and goes, all right, okay, yeah, get on the bus. Everybody on the bus, good, great, grand, fine, terrific. His face is all red.
See when the kids throw something at him and he's raging driving the bus and he goes, hey buddy, there'll be no more precious field trip.
He's driving, but his face is bright red. And he's clutching the steering wheel. His knuckles are white. He's like, I'll turn this damn bus around. Oh, so funny in that movie. He's in it for like 30 seconds and he kills it.
The heartbreaking thing is, like, Phil Hartman, there's not enough of them.
Exactly. Gone too soon.
We've got News Radio with Hartman, but if only, like, Farley left 4 seasons or something, something more.
Yes.
Yeah, man, that was Little Nicky. Did Little Nicky, because we are still working this out and we are too scared to do one of our favourite Sandler movies, but we're working up to it. Yeah. So this is one of the, like, kind of...
one of the lesser Sandler movies, I guess.
Rate this, man. What are you saying about Little Nicky?
This movie made me laugh a lot. John Lovitz whatever he's in, he's incredible. Very funny scene. I wish he was in it more. Rodney Dangerfield, same thing. Great whenever he's in it. It has a lot of funny moments. A lot of moments that don't hold up so well. CGI looks bad, but that is just a sign of the time period. I like the soundtrack. Not that the songs are all necessarily good, but they definitely go with the theme and tone of the movie. I pretty much like this movie, but like you said, I don't have to watch it again. Like, this is a movie that I can not see for a couple of years, but when I do see it, I will laugh at bits again. I think in terms of the Sandler movies, it's mid-level. It's not one of the good Sandler films, but it's definitely not one of the terrible ones. It's okay. Totally watchable film if you want to kill 90 minutes. Turn your brain off. Not that much to think about. If I'm giving it coconuts, I'm going right down the middle. 2.5.
I will not watch this probably for like another 5 or 6 years again. I didn't watch this as a kid. Like you, I did the triple, Billy Madison, Happy, Big Daddy quite a lot. I think there's really good skits in this, but it doesn't really massively hold together well. I've spent a lot of time knocking the CGI. It was an early period and there were still artists that were trying really hard. I do notice in the final shot that it's all just to replicate metal album covers of that period that they're trying to sort of pay nostalgic love to. That's cool. I do really appreciate that. I think that's really cool. The artist did have really good intentions, I can tell. It's okay. It's fine. It's mostly just fine. That Lovitz scene totally kills me. That's the best Lovitz. That's number one.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That is my absolute favourite. It is one of my favourite cameos. I'll forget it again tomorrow probably, but something about it is excellent. I'm with you. 2.5 out of 5 coconuts. We're going to the mid-90s next. We're going to the mid-90s.
Oh man, if you wanted more Schneider, you've got more Schneider. Man, let's roll that trailer.
When there is crime in society, there is no justice.
As a city, we continue to grow.
73 citizen riots.
Come and get us! Throw down your weapons and prepare to be judged! Judge this! Court's adjourned. Ready? You're a legend. You are my finest student.
Dredd, you're under arrest.
What's the charge?
Murder.
The evidence has been falsified!
Guilty as charged.
I never broke the law! I am the law!
Chaos.
The sentence shall be life imprisonment.
I'm the chaos. Dredd?
Every crushing paw!
Excuse me? We're not together.
It's not for this council to play God!
Who says politics is boring?